Hi, I'm artist-writer Michael S Garner, a comic book creator. I do an online comic book called Visions of the New, which I will tell you about later, which you can catch online if you do want to read it. Today I'm giving a spoiler review of Avengers Infinity War. If you want to check back on my page, I did put a regular review, but just be a warning, it's in the title here, this is a spoiler review. That was a non-spoiler review. This is spoilers, so we're going to talk about all this stuff. There's a lot to talk about. Couldn't wait all weekend. I tried to film this on the following Sunday of the box office when Infinity War came out, but I didn't get a chance to. But I figured, a lot of people putting their spoiler reviews out now, so I might as well do mine. And obviously, one of the reasons why I do these reviews is because I don't get to talk to that many I don't get to talk to that many other geeks about comic book related stuff like that and movies and stuff. So it's a good form to be able to do it here online. And if you do want to follow me, just subscribe down to the bottom, or if you want to see any previous videos, go down there. Now to get into it. Avengers Infinity War spoiler review. Okay, I said this in my other review. The story was basically what happened in the actual comic book, but kind of reversed a little bit because the whole finger snap thing in the comic book happened towards the beginning, and that got the Avengers to go after Thanos, or call them Avengers, or just call them everybody in the world just went after Thanos, and they lost. And just like that, same thing happened in this movie, and Thanos got what he wanted. So he went after all the Infinity Stones, went after Thor, all this stuff happened. It's just, like I said in that review, I love this movie. I believe that, first of all, everyone got attention. I believe that they touched on every single character as much as they could for a 2.5 hour long movie. And I felt the weight of it. Even characters who I haven't been big fans of, I liked a lot of them. And just their interactions and how they did it, it was like not fan service, but it was just like, yes, they did it right. And I keep saying the Russo brothers directed this movie. Same people who directed Winter Soldier and Civil War, and those are two of my favorite Marvel comic book movies ever. Actually, they are my favorite Marvel comic book movies ever, and it's due to them. And this is no exception. They managed to get this all to work, and it was exciting from beginning, start point, all the way to the end. And this is becoming one of my favorite Marvel comic book movies. I don't know if it beats those two, but it's definitely there. Those are my top 3 movies. I think it might be a little bit below Civil War. Think it might be. I would have to see it one more time. I've only been able to see it once. Also, going into, I'm not going to go for a bad, good list. I'm just going to go for what naturally flows in the movie. And one of the things that I noticed right away is that I knew the Black Order was going to be CGI and motion capture. So the actors actually acted it out, and then they captured them and digitally put them into the movie like Avatar. But I don't believe, much like Justice League Steppenwolf, I don't believe that they needed to do the motion capture work. I think that these people could have just been in costume and had makeup. I know, it's more flawless, kind of flawless to do the CGI thing, but I felt like the Black Order, with the exception of the really, really big guy, and I can't remember his name right now, Proxima Blade or whatever, no, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Blade, whatever. I can't remember the names right now, but except for the big one, who would obviously have to be CGI because he's humanoid, but he's way bigger than a normal human. He's Hulk big. I thought that everybody else could have just been people in costumes. And it would have worked well that way, because I noticed it more than a few times. I'm like, ugh, especially with Ebony and Nama, and everybody really loved him, but I was like, oh, that's good. They're fighting Jean Grey. Wonderful. I guess they changed his power set a little bit. But it was cool seeing him, throw all these pieces of buildings and everything at everybody. But that was my only complaint about the Black Order. But how they were portrayed, I loved it. It was just the CGI part. The whole movie felt like a comic book come to life. I kept thinking, one of my favorite comic book artists is the legend, George Perez, who actually made his career, made a really big mark in comic books when he did the Avengers run. He does such intricate drawings with every single Avenger in one frame, and he balances it out, and he balances the frame out very well, and he just gets all that action in there, and he gets all the emotion of every single character when he draws them in one frame. And I felt like this movie did the same, especially the battle on Titan, which is one of my favorite battles. I was like, holy crap, it's like a comic book come to life. Love that scene. I think I was surprised just as much as everybody else that the first person who they took down was the Hulk. And not to compare it again to Justice League, but that's like if you took down Superman right away. like if the villain took down Superman right away, then you would know this is a very dangerous villain. Like, holy crap, he took down the heaviest hitter there. And that's what he did. He took down the Hulk pretty handily. And the Hulk didn't return, which that surprised me. Because they did a lot of trailers where you saw the Hulk fighting alongside all the other heroes, and that is just not true in this movie. He was not there. Losing voice. So that was kind of a surprise. In fact, that Hulk we're assuming, was so afraid to come out because he got beaten, that he just didn't come out the whole movie. Even when Banner begged him at the end, when Banner was in a fight and he had to use Iron Man's Hulk Smasher suit, ironically, to fight the villain, the Hulk would still not come out to save his life, and he had to do it on his own. And so that was something that was kind of unexpected. Loki finally dies. Or does he? Does he actually die? Because we've seen him die, I think, 3 times now or something like that. This is kind of annoying. And Loki's never really been a villain. He borderlines the villain, but he's more like an anti-hero. It's kind of funny. Like, I love Tom Hiddleston. I love the way he acts, like everybody else. I love his Loki, but he's never really been a villain anyhow. And everybody was kind of assuming that this time he was going to go bye-bye because of the trailers, and it looks like he did. I thought it was kind of crappy that I thought it was noble that he tried to stab Thanos, but I thought it was funny. I'm like, even an Asgardian blade, I don't think that would have hurt Thanos at all. He could have thought of something else. And he has so much power, Loki. He has so much magical, mystical power that they never displayed that in the movies. They just made him glamour and change into like little images and like, fake people out with holograms, and that's about it. So that wasn't too much of a surprise. It was kind of like, finally he's gone. Okay. Idris Elba as Heimdall, I didn't see that one coming. When I saw him on the ground, I'm like, oh my god, they already took him out? He's supposed to be one of the big ones. He's supposed to be like almost close to Odin in power level. They hinted that in the first Thor movie, in the second movie. And I was like, holy crap, they took him out already. Granted, Hela took him out in the previous movie, but I'm like, holy crap. And then he got stabbed. And I was like, great, you had your 3 movies to have a few lines and now you're gone. Bye. Maybe he'll come back. But a lot of people's predictions, such as mine, anything that happened before the snap means that those people who died before that were probably completely dead. But this is Marvel, so I have this funny feeling that some of those people may possibly still come back. So the stakes for deaths in this movie that wasn't the thing that I was looking for. I know a lot of people were. I was just looking to see all these characters together and see if they balanced it and got it right, and they did. And obviously enjoyed it, and I just enjoyed it. I'm sitting there going, throughout the whole movie. Also, this is just a little gripe. How the F did Captain America, Black Widow, and Vulcan save Scarlet Witch in the Vision from the Black Order? I love Captain America like everybody else, and I loved him before the movies. He was one of my only Marvel characters next to Daredevil that I really related to and I really liked and I cared for. So when the movies got him right, when Winter Soldier happened, I was crazy about Captain America. But I'm always realistic to the power levels of characters. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, I'm all about power levels. And I do take into account adrenaline and things like that, because you have to do that with a comic book character. If they're real characters in real life and they have these powers, you have to factor in stuff like adrenaline and all these different things and everything like that. It happened with Spider-Man in the comic book when we lifted a city. Well, not lifted a city, lifted a block. Steve, go comic, go get it. And that was all about adrenaline. But they took down. They didn't kill him, but they beat the crap out of, threw them around the Black Order when they're cosmic level villains. And just when Scarlet Witch and the Vision, we're having problems fighting them. I'm like, oh, okay, Scarlet Witch and the Vision, they are mega powerful, especially in the MCU, especially in the Marvel comic book movie universe. And the fact that Captain America, Vulcan, and Black Widow, who has no powers whatsoever in the Marvel comic book movie universe, because we never got any indication that she took a serum or anything like she did in the comic book, kind of. It just seems that she's just a badass super agent. So I was just kind of like, oh, it's great to see them, and that's nice fan service, but I'm like, how the hell did they help? I mean, geez, it should have been the opposite way around, if anything. But I digress. I'll let it go. I love the fight between Scarlet Witch, Vision, and the Black Order before those 3 came in. I was surprised, her flying all over the place and Vision flying all over the place. I just thought that Vision, like, he got his ass kicked pretty quickly. I mean, like, I know, like, he was going through his phasing abilities, but it was kind of like, okay, in the last movie, we saw the power of Vision. Like, he was, like, in Civil War. Like, he stood in front, I think, of Black Panther in Civil War when a car piece of, like, a plane was thrown at him. A big piece of something. He stood there and blocked it, and he did not move. Like, that's power. So that just kind of threw me off. And the fact that Vision was just getting tossed around like nothing. Also, the biggest reveal for me was when they did the Red Skull. And he was the guardian of the Soul Stone, I believe it was. I can't remember. When they showed him in this black death cape and everything like that. I'm like, oh my God, it's the Red Skull. It's not the same actor. It's not the guy from The Matrix. But it is him. Because he said he would never come back because he just doesn't want to put on that makeup anymore. But that was a jaw drop moment. I was like, oh my God, he's there. I was like, I actually went, whoa. What else? Gamora, the death of Gamora. I'm not a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I never was in the comic books. I never was in the movies. I didn't like the only 2 movies that they've had. But Zoe Saldana, I do love her as an actress, and she did a great job with Gamora in this movie, and I cared for her a lot, especially towards the end, because I could see it coming. It was like, as soon as they went to that world, I'm like, you made a very big point, subtly, if not overtly, that Thanos cares about her a great deal. So when he took her and he threw her off the ledge, I was like, oh, he had to do everything he wanted to do to make this work, to keep the population of the universe in check. So he took her, and that was the thing. If he wanted that stone, he had to kill her. He had to sacrifice it. I had to sacrifice her in order to get the stone. And I was like, that did make me go back, but I saw it because she kept talking. She's like, oh, you don't care about anybody. See, you're never going to get what you want, blah, 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 blah. And it was all silent from him, and you just saw her perspective, her talking, so you knew she was going to go. And I just was kind of surprised that he grabbed her by the arm and just threw her off the ledge because she has superpowers. I thought she would jump or something or do something. But I guess maybe her power, whatever her powers are, they never were really fleshed out in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, in my opinion, how powerful Gamora actually is, because she's really, really strong. I'm surprised she didn't put more fight when Thanos grabbed her. She was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. That bothered me a bit, but to serve the story, to have her die, that's what had to happen. So yeah, that death was harsh. And all in all, going back to Guardians of the Galaxy, I actually felt for all of them in this movie. Even Quill. Can't stand him. But whatever. Like I said, not a big fan, but this movie made me care about them all. Also, Tony's stand against Thanos on Titan when everybody else was knocked down. That was amazing. And I'm not a big Iron Man fan either. Even when the first movie came out, I'm never a big Iron Man fan. I just appreciate the fact that we actually have an Iron Man now in cinematic universe. That was an incredible scene. He threw everything he had at Thanos, and he was doing a good job. And then Thanos still stabbed him. When he stabbed him, I gasped, like everybody else there. But I knew he was going to live. Because everybody's like, oh, it was going to be Captain America, or it was going to be Thor or Iron Man, who may possibly die in this movie. Nobody died! And I'm not even going to go the ending part yet, but nobody died! Fake deaths everywhere. Fake, probably. I don't know. If Gamora doesn't come back, we'll find out. But it's funny feeling that she might. Even though there's green splatter on her head, did you notice that when she fell down? I kept looking, I was like, oh my God, is that blood? Is that green blood from her head? Ooh. Ugh. What else? Thor. Thor at his most powerfulest. Love it. When he got Stormbreaker, and even the things that he did to get Stormbreaker when he went to the I think it was the dwarf engineering star thing that they had. He was actually, in order to keep it operational, the rings had to flip around, and they were like the size of like a moon. And he literally pushed those and made them work. I'm like, that's Thor power. He should be Superman level strong. And I love the fact they show this in the movie. Yes, they did it in Ragnarok, but I didn't like Ragnarok so much because there's so much comedy in it that I couldn't take it seriously. Even the scenes that meant a lot, like Odin dying and everything, I just couldn't. It took me out of the movie so much. And Taika Waititi, I know I respect him to death, the guy who directed it, and that's his style, but I was just not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of his humor. I don't laugh at any of his jokes. I think they're obvious. But in this movie, I love Thor. I love the things that he did. When he got Stormbreaker, when little Groot gave him the staff, I was like, that's Thor. And he was ripping apart the armies that were attacking Wakanda. That was That was an epic scene. And like I said, out of my seat going, oh, this is a comic book come to life. So love him seeing him at full power. I have a comment about Black Panther that I'm going to kind of leave out of this. Okay, all right. Black Panther needed a cup. There was a scene when they had everybody standing and you know, the Wakanda chant, hey, no, when they were doing the Wakanda chant, and I was like looking at him, I'm like, oh my God, put a cup on him. Just do something, because that looks odd. This is, kids are watching this. All right, next thing. Half the universe gone, as expected. And like I said, they'll most likely come back. But, you know, and obviously Vision too. It was really sad to see the fact that Scarlet Witch had to destroy Vision in order for this all to happen. And it still didn't mean anything, because Thanos still found his way around that with the Time Stone. And he still got the gem. So it just, that was kind of sad. It was sad to see her like do it. But remember, she held back Thanos with one arm. And that's something I want to mention at the end of the video. But one of my predictions about this movie, it did not happen, but they did show her using her powers a lot. And but to me, she still never cut loose. Spider-Man pleading for his life at the end when he was one of the people who was part of the finger snap, that got me, because I didn't think that he was just going to be like, please, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And that, I think everybody in the theater was just like, we were silent seeing that scene, because it's like, oh my God, it's like, you got to remember, he's a little kid. And he's basically facing death right now. This is the end of his life for this movie. But still, it was something that, it got me a lot. And, even though I know he's going to come back, it was like, whoa, or that was harsh. And when he hugged Tony, like, it wasn't like, just don't let me go. It was like, he shook Tony, like, please help me. And, that was one of the best scenes in the movie. And Tom Holland, I love him to death as Spider-Man. He did a very good job of that scene. I was just taken back by that. In the ending, when we got the post-credit scene, which was basically at the end, we got Maria Hill in a post-credit scene and Nick Fury. They're in traffic and they come out of the car and something's holding up traffic. They're wondering what's going on, and they see like a helicopter flying throughout the sky, and there's nobody driving it because the finger snap happened. So the person who was in that helicopter was gone. Nobody drove, so smashed into the building. So at that moment, Maria Hill, it started to happen to her because they started to see certain people disappear on the street. So she started to disappear. Then Nick Fury was like, crap. So he goes over and he pulls out a 90s beeper. And the first thing I thought was Captain Marvel. For people who've been following, Captain Marvel is supposed to take place in the 90s. 90s beeper. I don't know if it was a transmission to go back in time, or was a transmission for her now because she just doesn't like tech from this day and age. I don't know where she is. If she's off-world, whatever it may be. But that was just cool. And the fact that he pressed it right before he got dissolved. So supposedly she will come to actually help, because she's supposed to be in the movie universe, she's going to be like one of the most powerful members of the Avengers. So that's going to be kind of cool to think. But I think that a lot of people were confused when they saw that, who weren't into all this stuff. I had a person literally, when I was walking out of the theater, there was a couple guys next to me, and one guy was like, hey, he was asking the other guy, was like, hey, was that like a Chinese star or something? And I turned back, I'm like, that was Captain Marvel, it's for another movie. He's like, oh, okay. And like, he had no idea what I was even talking about when I said that, but I had to say it anyway. Because a lot of people are just like sitting in a dumbfounded, like, what is that? Is that Wonder Woman? You know, because I thought for a second how they set up the stars. Like, that looks like the old Wonder Woman star from the original one, the blonde woman who did it in the 70s before Linda Carter even did it. That was kind of like the design that I saw. Like, oh, it didn't like it. Yes, Ms. Marvel, but, you know, Wonder Woman came first. But obviously, whatever. That was a cool end credit sequence, but I don't think it was the best. I just think it was like medium. One thing I wanted to say is that a couple of my predictions didn't happen. They weren't a prediction, but they were a hope. I was hoping that Gamora would get the glove herself and maybe drive her nuts or something like that. And that didn't happen. She just wound up dying instead. And there was so much crap in the comic books where he brought her back to life and she was like this dead corpse walking around and everything like that. They can't do this in this movie because it would be really dark, and that's where Marvel won't go. Yeah, I thought something like that would happen. I thought Gamora would be integral to it, but she was integral in a different way. And her death meant so much more. Also, I thought Scarlet Witch would have let loose. And we got that whole thing where Kevin Feige, I believe he said, or one of the Russo brothers said, where they said, no. Scarlet Witch, we've always thought it was a kinetic thing that she's using her powers, but she is going to be like the comic book. Like, she's basically manipulating magical energies. And we're going to see that. And I thought that there was going to be a moment with her and Doctor Strange, because they hinted at it when he was getting all those pins in one of the trailers. I thought she was going to actually discover her powers more that way, or he was going to go like, hey, you're using magic. Do you know what you're doing? I really thought that Doctor Strange would say that, but that never happened. They didn't even have any interaction in the movie. And also, you know, Scarlet Witch, like in the comic book, she did like that whole thing where we know how powerful she really is in the comic book. She's incredibly powerful. She scared the Phoenix Force, for God's sakes. And she did her own version of the finger snap where she said no more mutants and got rid of half of the mutant race. So I'm like, wish they would have done that in the movie. But you can't do that because Marvel, we're not going to go the X-Men thing and the acquisition of Fox, all that crap. But yeah, it was cool to see Scarlet Witch do some big moments, but I wish she got to do bigger moments, because she's the one who could have like really done something. And that part at the end where she was holding off Thanos and shooting the stone in Vision's head at the same time, that was a great indication. Ouch. That was a great indication of how powerful she was. She actually held Thanos back, and he had the glove. So that is it. Like I said, I love this movie. I can't wait to see it again. I hope you guys got a chance to see it this weekend. If not, go to see it. And if you didn't already know, on Thursday it made $39 million, which is a huge Thursday opening. And also over the weekend, as of today, and this is Monday, it posted that it made 258 million point something, and that is like the highest grossing weekend ever. Like, it beat Force Awakens. So that's huge. So this is Marvel's biggest opening, and can't wait to see what's going to happen next. And hopefully I'm going to do a video on some of the action sequences. And once again, my name is Michael S Garner. I write and draw and create my own online comic book. Everything's done by me. You can check it out at visionsofthenew.com. I do comic book related reviews on TV shows and movies and everything like that. And if you guys have any comments below, feel free to post them below. I just only ask one thing. I know comic fandom is like really bad and everything like that, but try not, if you have a disagreement with somebody else in the comment section, or even me, just stick to the subject at hand. Don't personally attack them. I had somebody do that in there, and I had to get rid of them because of that reason. I'm like, don't personally attack other people. Like, don't like attack their looks, don't attack whatever, and everything like that. That's not fair. And stick to the subject. If you don't like something that somebody else likes, disagree to disagree. Don't like start to attack them. Like, I don't like your hair. This is stupid kiddish stuff. So that's all I'm saying. So until next time, if you want to check out my comic book, feel free, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go see the movie!